Oh, hello everyone. It's Crypto Granny Susie here. Today's Monday and it's the 22nd of March 2021 and the time is 13:55 Amsterdam, Netherlands time. And I had a lovely weekend. I tell you, I did a lot of sleeping, absolutely a lot of sleeping. So it was wonderful. I do believe this market is going to go full bull this week. And there's a couple of reasons for that. The exchanges say that they don't have a lot of cryptocurrency reserves. Cryptocurrency reserves have plunged and they're at the lowest they've been for some time. And the reason is people aren't selling physical Bitcoin or, any, physical crypto. They might be selling it on derivatives, but they're certainly not selling it on physical crypto, which means a lot of the exchanges are running low in terms of crypto. And also the data confirms that the big whales for Bitcoin and other, other cryptocurrencies within the top 10, they're also being held as well. So whales are holding on to their Bitcoin and so are the miners and everyone else. So I do believe this market's going to go full bull this week. There's some important things to keep aware of, though. The Yellen testimony on Tuesday and Wednesday, and also the governor's testimony, Jeremy Powell's testimony as well. So these things I think are going to be quite bullish. I think they're going to be very focused on the US 10-year bond rate, which currently is at 1.686. And I think they will try and drive that down because, as you know, the US consumer is very sensitive to a high retail rate, a high bond rate of 10-year, which is going to transfer through to their mortgage rate of over 3%, okay, considering that the US economic situation is quite dire, really. When you look at it, prices are rising everywhere, unemployment is not getting any better, more than 800,000 people a week are going for benefits and never been for benefits before, unemployment benefits. And, it's very, very difficult over there. People aren't doing very well at all, the average person, which is a real shame. So I do think they will keep the interest rates low. They will increase money supply into the system. The Fed's mandate is to keep inflation low and to increase employment. Now, inflation is out of control, but the thing is, they say it's low, but it's not. I don't believe that. Inflation is through the roof, and unemployment is getting higher and higher. And it's a situation you don't want when you've got high unemployment, high inflation, and you've got a currency that's weakening. And I mean, that's what we're seeing in Turkey at the moment. The Turkish government, their currency collapsed, the Turkish lira, because President Erdogan sacked the central banker who basically said, look, having high interest rates in Turkey is killing the consumer, which fair enough it would be. I mean, the interest rates in Turkey have gone to 19%. They raised interest rates again, 200 basis points to protect the currency. But the problem is when you see this cycle, it doesn't work, right? Every country in the world that's raised interest rates to keep the currency up there, they've just been smashed by the capital markets. It's just a red rag to a bull. You just start selling the currency of Fed income. It's not going to stay up there. I mean, the country is stuffed, literally. The economic situation is disaster, and interest rates are going through the roof, killing the consumer. In Turkey, for example, and the currency to boot is falling, 15, 20, 30%, which means if they have a Turkish deposit in their bank account, it's going to lose 25, 35%. It's an absolute shocker, right? And it doesn't make people want to, invest in Turkish lira because you know that the currency is going to go down regardless of the 19% on the interest rate because the currency is going to fall more than the interest rate, see? And that's going to cost you more money, and then you may not be able to get out of it because Turkey's been renowned and known for having control restrictions on currency, right? Whether you can get the currency out or not, currency control, and that's the last thing you need, right? So that's why international investment managers are very, very coy about investing in Turkey because they've been bit before in the past, in the 90s and the 95s when I was working professional and everything else, right? So the Turkish situation is an absolute disaster, seriously. And Bitcoin in Turkey went up to about $100,000, not surprising, because you don't want to sit in government currency, government-created currency, right? Just like the US. The US keeps issuing and issuing and issuing and the currency will take the hit. And if you're in US dollars, you're going to lose money. It's just that simple. The US dollar at the moment is 108.67. It will go lower. The more the Fed keeps issuing more dollars into the system, they're selling the currency. They're selling, it's akin to selling the US. More supply is going to bring the US dollar down. And you don't want to be sitting in US dollars. And that's why the cryptocurrency market is such a great hedge against the deterioration of government balance sheets. The balance sheets of government, central bank government balance sheets are getting worse and worse. Seriously, the debt is just off the charts, astronomically off the charts for the US, right? Their debt is just unbelievable. There's a debt monitor page you can check out, and I tell you, it's just scary stuff. When you look at the debt monitor page for the US Fed income, really, it's a disaster. So this Turkish thing, again, the social media for Turkey, jumped 500% in terms of looking for, Google Bitcoin via Google. And President Erdogan has sacked a number of central bank heads, and this is the third one, literally in the last couple of years, because, they obviously have different ideological differences, right? The central banker says, look, high interest rates are killing our people, and, President Erdogan just says, hey, look, raise rates because the lira is coming down. We don't, but the thing is, it doesn't work, right? High rates do not keep the currency up when the economic fundamentals of the government are absolutely stuffed, right? Too much debt, no growth in the economy, no employment. Sounds a little bit like the US, doesn't it, really, when you think about it? So, interesting stuff. So, if we look at the market overall, we've got an interesting market, I have to say, but I do think, this week we're going to see this bull come into this market. It's been chopping around a bit, buying and selling, and if you look at the technicals, they've been all over the place, literally. There's been a lot of toing and froing between the buyers and the sellers. So if we go to very quickly, excuse me, I'm just woken up today. We've got a market cap. It's 1.799 trillion. Volume is 58.512 bill. Liquidity is 3.86 bill, and Bitcoin dominance has come down to 59.43%, which is interesting. It's broken 60%. Volume's up quite a bit, and so is liquidity. That Bitcoin dominance, I do believe, will get down to 45%, okay, by the end of this year. I believe that altcoins will be bought over and above Bitcoin, but Bitcoin will still perform. But the rate of return on specific altcoins will do extremely well and will outperform Bitcoin. Okay, and that's my view, and that's how my clients, at the time I've set up my clients' investment portfolios. Obviously, our trading portfolios are different. We run a number of different portfolios, up to 4 or 5. There's a lot of ways to make money in cryptocurrency markets. It's not just trading and holding coin, but it's also, staking. It's arbitrage between, different exchanges that have different prices, for example, on crypto. It's staking, it's deposits, it's all sorts of things that you can make money out of, even mining. You can also hold a node and make money out of it that way. There's all sorts of things. So if you want to join my Patreon, it's very good value. I'm only taking selective clients that are serious about earning, that are serious about making money, and we do make money. And you can also ask for, I could give you easily 10 referrals of my existing client base if you wanted to. That will be happy to tell you how, the real, I am the real deal. But also, I'm only interested in clients that want to learn, because seriously, it takes a lot of hard work to teach people, particularly if they don't know anything. And so please, if you're interested in learning, and you're interested in making serious money, then come and join my Patreon. But you need to be really dedicated, Fed income, because I'm not looking for every Tom, Dick and Harry, I have to say. So let's have a look at, I will go through the data, and then I'll also go through all the news, and there's a lot here, so we better get on with it. Now, real volume for Tether was 17.64 billion. Bitcoin was 6.37 billion. Ethereum was 2.37 bill. Binance US 2 bill. Harmony One, which I don't know much about, was 1 bill. XRP's up there at 1.06 bill, which is great. I have to say today, the first thing I do want to say is XRP has gone bullish, okay? It's broken up on the 4-hour on the 4-hour 200-day moving average, and that is really, really bullish. So I'm really, really happy to see that, because us XRP holders have been taking a loss for some time, and it's lovely to see XRP start to rally. So it's certainly gone very bullish according to the technicals, and I'm very, very happy about that. There are a couple of stories out there which I'll also talk about, which is a great story for XRP as well. So also Cardano's up there at 765 mil, BitTorrent's up there at 740 mil, Theta token 556 mil, and Chiliz, which I love, at 486 mil. VeChain's up there 410 mil. So there's a lot going on. And let me just get to the news here, okay? So Coinbase has decided to list on the NASDAQ in April. I don't know why they've decided to do it later than earlier, but anyway, that's what they've decided. The average shares are going at about 343.50, which is a lot. When you consider that Binance makes a hell of a lot more money than Coinbase, $343 for Coinbase shares, Binance should easily be there as a cryptocurrency. I mean, Coinbase only made $300 million last year, $322 million last year in profits, and the year before lost money, whereas Binance is making billions of dollars in profits. So Binance's, cryptocurrency should be a lot higher than $260. Seriously, it's a cash cow business, Binance. It makes money like crazy. It does 70% of the volume in the market every day, right? It's killing Ethereum in terms of getting new clients, killing them. Ethereum's bleeding because there's so many other competitors out there that do smart contract platforms and do it better and don't charge the costs. So their clients are going to those other smart contract platforms, and they're also, going to Binance, right? So, Ethereum, is, as far as I'm concerned, is just going to bleed. Then you've also got Cardano out there, Charles Hoskinson, saying that Ethereum is a bit of a joke because it's been built for elitism, that, the top people make a lot of money, i.e. the miners, and we're all paying for that. And I tend to agree with Charles Hoskinson, that income. That guy's a very smart guy. He's a mathematician, and I believe that Cardano will do better than Ethereum over time. I think Ethereum is going to bleed, and that's why I've told my clients, I don't want a position in Ethereum, and they shouldn't either, because there's a lot of reasons why you shouldn't be in Ethereum. It's still proof of work. If you look at the cryptofees.com, you'll see that Ethereum they're literally taking about 25 million out of clients every day, and that's going to the miners, right? And if you look at Binance's smart chain every day for fees, it's about 175,000. So look at cryptofees.com. And Ethereum is just going to bleed, okay? It's going to bleed because they're not proof of stake, and they just keep losing and losing clients, okay? And that's my view, and you're starting to see it, actually. Ethereum is starting to underperform. It's down 0.22, but everything else is bull, right? And it's going to continue to underperform. So I think a good trade would be, to have XRP long and, short Ethereum. So XRP Ethereum. So effectively, you're long XRP and being short Ethereum is a spread trade, or just being long XRP outright. Because I think Ethereum's going to bleed. Fair income, it really is, okay? So what else we got here? Latin America's first BTC ETF has been approved, and it was launched by QR Asset Management, right? And it's going to be listed on the largest stock exchange called B3. Now, I just want to make sure everyone understands what an ETF is. It's an exchange-traded fund, okay? So what happens is the manager, QR Asset Management, basically buys all the Bitcoin, but then they sell their fund to, some small institutions and people like you and me, and we have to pay commission to get into the fund, and they unitize the fund every month. And the unitization of that fund, if it goes up, you make money, right? But you're still paying a lot of fees, right? And you're invested in a fund. So if there's a lot of volatility in markets or whatever, like there was in 2011 or 2001, I always forget this, 2001, when the America got attacked, and the Twin Towers went down, they actually closed these funds. So you've got to be mindful that if they close these funds and you're in them, you can't actually get out of them, and you've got to pay 2 to 5% to be in these ETF funds, okay, which are listed on the stock exchange, and you can buy a unit, right? So it costs you a lot of money. I mean, you've got to buy it on the stock exchange for a start. That's going to cost you a commission. Plus the fund itself is charging you a commission. You're better off going to the crypto market as a direct buyer of crypto and not buy funds, because there's a lot of risk with funds. When there's increased volatility, those funds get closed until the volatility is shut down, and basically you can't get access to anything, right? You can't get access to your money or anything. And you don't own the crypto within funds either. So best to be direct, have a direct crypto portfolio. Now, Cardano's hosting, as I said, claiming he basically is damning Ethereum. Oh, excuse me, just had a sniff. Excuse me. Sorry for that, guys and girls. You never know when you're going to start sneezing when you're doing a live podcast. Seriously, just going to have a cup of coffee too. I need to wake up on a Monday. Even though it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it still takes me a while to wake up. I'm a Scorpio and I love my sleep. Fair income, I really do. So, Cardano's Hoskinson, Charles Hoskin, pretty much made damning comments about Ethereum. He said it is a dumpster fire, which I don't quite understand what that means, being Aussie. Dumpster fire, where a few groups of elite have been benefiting huge amounts. Have been benefiting, okay? And he said there's been huge amounts of intellectual dishonesty coming from the Ethereum maximalists. And I tend to agree with that. He also said Ethereum will become like BlackBerry or MySpace. Now, remember BlackBerry and MySpace? That was years ago. And they just lost the plot because everything else became bigger than them. And I tend to agree with this fellow. Charles Hoskin is a very smart operator. He's only 35. He looks a lot older, but he's a mathematician and a very, very smart guy, and obviously writes code and all sorts of things. And he knows what he's talking about, this guy. And I agree with the guy. I mean, the fees that Ethereum are charging, they're back down from the miners, the 5 large miners in China, which indicates that they're not decentralized, they're centralized, which indicates that XRP has got a case, because XRP is saying to the SEC, how did you decide that Bitcoin and Ethereum are decentralized? How did you decide they weren't a security? The SEC says they're not a security because they're decentralized. But you could say the miners of Ethereum and Bitcoin own, as I said before, 70% of the hash rate, which they do. The 5 large miners out of China, which makes Ethereum and Bitcoin central, because Ethereum cannot get the miners to back down on their fees, right? And they tried to, with this latest protocol, and the miners said no. So now Ethereum is stuck with the miners still charging 3 or 4 Ethereum for everyone, right, throughout the system. So Ethereum just don't have a leg to stand on. I mean, it's going to take them 2 years to go to proof of stake, and everyone else is a proof of stake. Tron's killing them and everyone else that has smart contract platforms like, Polygon, Matic, Theta. There's so many. VeChain has it. There's so many, Waves. It just goes on and on. EOS, when I think about it, Cardano, of course. There's so many competitors that have smart contract platforms. I mean, even VeChain has some, seriously. So they're just gonna bite the dust as far as I'm concerned. Another story: Coinbase copped a fine by the U.S. Futures Trading Commission. God, they're always fining people. The U.S. government, seriously, for a $6.5 million settlement figure. Apparently, they're suggesting. The CFT, the Futures Trading Commission, said that Coinbase basically did a lot of wash trading between 2015 to 2018, right? Wash trading is basically when you're trading stuff for other people on their behalf, but not on your own behalf. So obviously the the Trading Commission has been looking at this and saying, you're going to cop a fine because you're doing something wrong. I mean, we used to do this within financial markets. If you didn't have a settlement, if you didn't have a credit limit with someone else, you could actually say, look, I don't have a credit limit with that organisation, but you do. Can I send you the money and then you send it to them? But it's not considered the right thing to do, okay? It's like you're giving money to a third party, but you're giving it to someone you have a limit with, but then they're paying it to a third party. It's not the right thing to do, that's for sure. Also, we've seen that theta has moved a heap, right? It's gone from literally 65 cents to $10, right? And this is one I've been watching. And I cannot understand why it's going up so much, right? I mean, in my mind, it's something to do with a decentralized video delivery system similar to Twitch, but powered by its users. But I cannot understand, how the market can take it up to $10. It's just beyond me. It has performed extremely, extremely well. BTT, and we do have position in BTT in our trading portfolio, has over 1 billion users, and it's together with uTorrent, don't forget. And it is Tron based, and I tell you what, it's done extremely well, BTT, and we've been buying that for trading as a trading position, and we've made quite good money out of it. So we're very, very happy about that. It's doing extremely well. Also, Skybridge registered with the SEC to launch another BTC EFT. Seriously, all these fund managers are out there launching ETFs so that they can charge retail clients for fund management. Don't do it. Don't get into it because it's going to cost you too much. You're better off getting educated and directly investing in crypto yourself, okay? Also, Ripple's lawyer argues that exchanges are allowed to relist XRP after Friday's Ripple versus SEC hearing. Without risking a lawsuit themselves. And I think that's fair enough as well. Ripple doesn't control the exchanges, and this is what the lawyer says. I mean, it's a joke that all the exchanges delisted XRP, and they should be relisting them. They're just weak as, and I think Binance will relist them soon, I hope. Cristiano Ronaldo was awarded 770 crypto tokens for each career goal scored. Now, this is a guy from Juventus, apparently, some big soccer player. And don't forget, Juventus was launched on Chiliz. And Chiliz, I had that as a trading coin, and we got into it at 0.074. But I tell you what, that has got a lot of fantastic fundamentals. Chiliz is a cryptocurrency exchange for non-fungible or fungible tokens, right? And anything can go on there. Football token, football clubs, all the fans are on there from the Juventus, you name it, AC Milano. It's just a no-brainer. Seriously, anything could be on this platform, Chiliz. Social, artwork, anything. If you go into the Chiliz exchange, it is amazing. I've got to do a review on it, but it is a no-brainer, seriously. And I've decided to put that in our investment portfolio because it's an opportunity of a lifetime, that one. Check it out, Chiliz. It's amazing. Now, Litecoin has announced the launch of Mimblewimble, update to anonymity, privacy of its users, which is good. Now, Binance, as you know, Binance Smart Chain are getting a lot of the DeFi from Ethereum, because Ethereum is so expensive and the DeFis can't be used on Ethereum because it's costing them $200 a transaction US. So Binance is taking on a lot of Ethereum clients, and unfortunately these are DeFis, which there's a lot of crappy DeFis out there. And they're getting hacked straight away when they're launching. This is one Turtle Dex, or whatever it's called. They drained 2.5 million Binance coins, right? So these DeFis lack a lot of security, and that's why I don't invest or trade in DeFis, because you never know when the bottom's going to fall out. Seriously. Brave's on Binance now, so you can do Brave on BEP20 rather than ERC20, which costs a fortune. Also, be aware there's a competition trading for TRX with Binance and KuCoin and Hubi. And it's all the Just and Sun coins. So it's TRX, BTT, Just and Sun. So I'm very bullish Tron, I have to say. Tron is so undervalued, it's a joke, an absolute joke. Now, you might have known that Pundi has been going up, and it is a bit of a shitty token as far as I'm concerned, coin, I think. I think it's on its own mainnet. So if it's on its own mainnet, it's a coin. If it's on someone else's mainnet, we call it a token, right? You should know that automatically. They've been doing a lot of rallying, and apparently they reduced supply and increased staking. So it must be their own mainnet, so it's a coin. And that's why that coin's going up. But I don't think that's enough for a coin just to go up. Seriously, does it have the fundamentals or doesn't it? The fact that it's rallying because they've reduced supply and they've increased staking. Yes, it's nice to get a return, so that helps. But also it needs fundamentals to keep going, right? Fair income, it really does. You can't just have a coin going up because they've reduced supply, which is a joke. I mean, that's a trick in, cryptocurrency markets, fair income, that's for sure. Now, Selfkey's been doing very well. It's an ID coin. And, you know, it's had upgrades of its mainnet, and they've done airdrops. And apparently they're going to DeFi. God knows why they'd be wanting to do that. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But anyway, so if we just, let's just quickly go through other stuff here. What else we got here? So we look at, if we look at basically my signals, my trading signals, we've got bull 675 against negative 248. And that looks fantastic. There's a lot of 10 out of 10s, I have to say. That's for sure. And if we look at Lunar Crush in the social media today, we've got number one theta token, then we've got XRP, Dent, Self-Key, Shopping, Orion Protocol, Cody, Solana, Kusama, and Hive. And all these are up at the moment. Also, just checking out the information here, there's a big story, Cardano versus Ethereum. Who's winning the smart contract race by Coin Cura? And now it's DeFi swaps now support Kyber Network. And Kyber Network's doing quite well, I think, but I'm not invested in that, okay? That's for sure. So, very interesting market, this. I just love this market, seriously, I have to say. So, if we look at the technicals, right, very short term, technicals look very good to me, the bullish setups, that's for sure. BNB, bullish setup, Bitcoin, CVC, BTT, LISC, Chiliz, if it breaks 0.55, Crow, Fund, Just, OMG, QTUM, Theta, TRX, and XRP's gone full bull, okay? So the technicals look very good to me, I have to say. And I do think just keep an eye out for this week, because there's going to be a lot of Fed speak this week. Going to be a lot of data out also, IFO, housing data in the US, durable goods, and just keep an eye out for the chat with the Fed people on Tuesday and Wednesday, okay? That's going to be big, right? Now, also in equity markets, we did see a bit of risk off in equity markets. The VIX was starting to rise, but I do believe the US 10-year bond yield is going to be kept low. It'll be lower than 1.686. I do believe there'll be some manipulation by the US in terms of that to keep it under 1.6. And if that's the case, I do believe risk markets will start to rally. Everything looks good for risk markets to start rallying, okay? Funny thing is gold's not doing anything. It's still at 1736, silver's still at 25.75. You'd think with inflation rising like crazy that they would really perform. Oil's at 61.30. Interesting at 61.30. I think it should be a lot lower, but there's suggestion to suggest that it's being manipulated by the Fed. Also, US rate, as I said, is 108.67. COVID's rising, not good. But it's going to be an interesting week, so keep an eye out for things, guys and girls. I hope I haven't missed anything here, but it's certainly going to be a very, very interesting week, and I wait for bated breath, seriously, because every day for me is very interesting in this market, I have to say. Fascinating, and there are a lot of opportunities. Anyway, guys and girls, thank you very much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Thank you.